Hello and welcome back to a new episode of Grand Tactician The Civil War, where we are playing the Union career mode. Last episode we crossed the Potomac and suffered a minor defeat in the Battle of Fairfax, but we are still in Virginia and with some luck we can drive the rebels further south. Currently all of our forces are remaining in position and we are gathering our strength once more so that we can approach the enemy. And the Crittenden-Johnson resolution was passed by Congress, meaning that we will take no action against slavery. The bill passed almost unanimously. Thaddeus Stevens abstained from voting. In further news, the 2nd Division is about to link up with our forces. And we have finished another fundraising action. And the Union passed the 3rd Militia Act. We are now calling for more volunteers with a 2-year contract. The Congress sanctions further enlistment and the states are forming new regiments. Call to arms. And to make sure that we are not going to lose our standing with the other officers, we should throw another party. So far the front line hasn't moved and the Confederacy has almost constructed a mill near Fairfax. Our division is almost back to full readiness. The same goes with the majority of the other divisions. I'm confident that soon we are going to see some action. And the committee investigator who was assigned to watch over our actions to make sure that they align with government policy has recently been suspicious about any personal changes in our officer corps. While this is the case, any changes in our officer corps will require much more paperwork and effort to get done. Good that we have assigned all of our positions already. And we have now started to besiege our enemies at Fairfax. So far we outnumber them and we outgun them, but we are taking a lot more casualties. Let's find out if we can win this time. Today is August 7th, 1861. Our scouts report the enemy is near Fairfax, Virginia, and our army is preparing for battle. We are facing the army of the Potomac under command of P.G.T. Beauregard with strength of some 17,000 men and 33 guns. The enemy army is green and morale is reported to be eager. Reports indicate their supply situation is outstanding. The supply state of our own army is outstanding. And it looks like we are on the defensive and not on the offensive, as I've previously thought. And we are also heavily outnumbered as we only have 23,000 soldiers available. Currently we are ordered on a defensive position near Dr. Noble. Our regiment is deployed in the rear of the line and if the enemy approaches our position we have to engage and defeat them. So far we can see that some Union forces are scouting ahead while the bulk of the Confederate army is marching down. And we have been completely abandoned by our own forces. Time to send our men forward to get onto a fighting position. Over on this section, enemy cavalry is charging our artillery and have destroyed our first offensive units. This battle is off to a bad start. Over here the 2nd New Hampshire is charging the enemy. And they're going to be repelled very quickly. And more of our soldiers are trying to cross and to engage the enemy head on. I'm going to send our soldiers forward. And I'm also going to send skirmishers out to at least support the men. Well, we can't as we are too far under strength to do that. And over here more and more of our own forces are sacrificing themselves. This is definitely one way to lose a battle. Over here, Yeoman's detachment is out and some more units try to save some guns. Confederate cavalry crashed into our lines and got driven back. And over here more of our own cavalry is falling back. This battle was lost before it even started. With already many of our forces on the retreat, I doubt that we have the strength it takes to hold the enemy back. We're now ordered to deploy to engage. And we are going to do that. Meaning that we have to abandon the river line. We are once more going to take position on this fence line. Let's hope that this time Fortuna will help us. We can see more Union forces starting to push, and they're going to be simply shot down. The 13th Pennsylvania is starting to engage the enemy, and they're now going to be driven back. Confederate forces are now starting to engage our left flank. Over here, Reynolds' detachment is holding 2 artillery pieces. On our right flank, some of our forces are starting to push. And we at least have a strong center this time. If our generals decide to send more and more soldiers into their deaths, this of course will not hold. Over in this section, the 12th Georgia is taking a beating. On the far left, the 22nd Virginia is starting to outflank us. More of our artillery is coming up. And they're rushing directly into the enemy line. Apparently, we definitely want to supply the rebels with more firepower. Well, they were at least able to fire 1 or 2 rounds with those 24-pounder howitzers. Not that it is going to change much. And there they're falling back. Over here, the 5th Maryland Battery with 1200 Napoleon's field guns is now also in danger. And they're soon going to fall back as well. And there's not really much that we can do about it. On our left we have the 1st New Jersey Battery with 14-pounder James rifles. A very good artillery that is now starting to take some hits. And when we open the battlefield, we can see an endless stream of rebel reinforcements coming up. The fight isn't going on for long, and already we took 900 casualties, while the Confederates only suffered 569 casualties. I wish our forces would simply fall back and form up a defensive line so that we can hold the rebels back. But this is not going to happen. So at least we should keep our own soldiers out of danger so that we do not get completely annihilated. The 2nd Virginia Battery is falling back. And to our right, more units are crumbling. Our flanking force on the far right is now getting annihilated, and more forces are starting to push. We have some movement over here. We can see the 2nd Virginia coming up. 400 soldiers, and they already took a couple casualties. And they're now getting ready to shoot on the 4th US Artillery. These 10 6-pounder field guns might be able to dish out some damage. Yeah, these soldiers are taking more and more damage. More rebel forces are coming up. And I am going to send our soldiers forward so that we can support our men. But we of course need to keep an eye open for these artillery pieces. If we block their field of fire, we need to shift. Yes, it looks like we are blocking their field of fire. We need to shift further to the north. Further to the west. We are coming up. Very good. And we should have a flanking position on these units from Mississippi. We're now ordered to engage at will. We have 17 o'clock. Our soldiers are engaging. And if we are lucky, we might get further reinforcements as the battle progresses. More rebel forces. The 7th Georgia is coming up. And these field guns are about to be destroyed. They took 19 casualties. And now they are broken. Our men are still opening up on the enemy flank, and so far we haven't taken casualties. And these artillery pieces still seem able to shoot at the enemy. And we are fighting with the 7th Georgia and the 2nd Virginia, as well as the 2nd Mississippi. Even more rebel forces are coming up, and we now took our first casualties. It looks like we will not be able to hold them here for long. And I'm giving our soldiers the order to fire at medium range. This should increase the amount of damage that we can inflict. Of course, only if the orders arrive in time. We are far outflanking the 7th Georgia. Let's hope that our damage is going to be big enough to drive at least a couple of the units back before our own soldiers will break and fall. They are still coming up. And it looks like the 7th Georgia is walking backwards. Well, I'm certainly not complaining. They took 30 casualties. They have 800 soldiers. This is a massive regiment. And if that continues, our soldiers will have to fall back or they will be caught in a melee. It is a wonder that these soldiers are still holding. They're getting shelled from multiple directions. And they're getting hit in the rear. 7 of our soldiers have fallen. And it looks like canister is opening up on their flank. This battery took 4 casualties and their morale is already bad. And we were able to force this unit to retreat. 100 casualties. Very good, very good. Let's hope that we can hold out for a little while longer. We now took 14 casualties, 16, and our forces are pushing on the right. 17 casualties. As soon as our morale starts to waver, I have to retreat our soldiers. The 2nd Virginia has taken 87 casualties. They have 300 soldiers remaining. They outnumber us. And they have some cover while we are standing out in the open. I think this is the sign that we needed to fall back. We are going to make a fighting retreat. And we are not going to surrender a piece of ground without firing at the enemy. But if we stay here, we will certainly die. I'm very proud of our soldiers in this encounter. And more enemy units are coming up. It is the 11th Mississippi. Our morale is wavering. Come on, Meg. We have almost done it. Commander, rally your soldiers. These artillery pieces now have the option to rain hell on the enemy, and we can see them firing canister into the 11th Mississippi. Let's hope that Scribner's detachment is going to buy us the time that we need to recover, and that we can still shoot on the 11th Mississippi from the safety of this fence line. Scribner's detachment is coming up, and they already have to fall back as the enemy is apparently trying to charge us. Our infantry is going to come to fight the enemy on long range. And they seem to target our artillery pieces. We cannot let this happen. Men, get forward. We need to engage them. Very good, very good. The enemy is taking casualties. Our morale is still holding. 230 men remaining. And Scribner's detachment is falling back. I assume that this is the unit that is getting fired from, meaning that the 11th Mississippi should not do a lot of damage, but we can simply melt them. We now have 18 o'clock. Hopefully we are getting reinforcements on the second day, otherwise this fight is going to be lost. It is a wonder that we held. And it looks like the Confederate forces are preparing to push. Our soldiers took 28 casualties, but we were able to drive this unit back. And our morale is confident again. On our left flank, the situation is a bit more stable than in our center and in our right. We have a couple reserves in the forest, and some of them appear to be lying down to protect them from artillery fire. The 5th Virginia, another strong regiment, is starting to cross the river, while over here some Confederate forces drove back Wood's detachment. The 2nd Virginia is recovering from their losses, and we are taking some fire from the enemy artillery. If our losses start to rise, I will send our forces further to the right in the hope that this is going to protect them. Fighting should die down soon though, as a nightfall is starting to set in. And unless we get more reinforcements on the second day, we will be defeated. So far the Union has suffered 1,300 casualties, while the Confederates suffered 1,200 casualties. And we have also lost 33 of our artillery pieces. We only have 4 left. Over here the 5th Virginia is starting to cross, and they should be repelled easily as we have numerical superiority in this area. As long, of course, as enough of our soldiers engage the enemy. And over here the 2nd Virginia, even though they are already wavering, start to engage our soldiers. More rebel forces are coming up over on this section and on our far right. The situation on our far right is not looking so good. This is our weakest flank. And we might have to contest with the 3rd South Carolina. Let's make sure that our soldiers face the enemy. The artillery seems to be able to hit them. And Scribner's detachment as well as Column's detachment should be able to drive back the 2nd Virginia. Over here a Confederate unit was driven back. And on the left the 14th New York State Militia and a regiment of the US cavalry is holding back some Confederate forces. The 1st New Jersey Battery is shelling down on the enemy. And I think they are our last artillery pieces. Our man took 28 casualties. And we need to send our soldiers a little bit back. Otherwise this artillery cannot support the soldiers on our right flank. Enemy artillery is setting up over here. And over on this section, the push of the Confederates seems to be contained for the moment. But I guess High Command should send the 5th Pennsylvania over. Over on this section, Scribner's detachment appears to be falling back soon. And our men are setting up on their new positions. Enemy cavalry is on our right flank. Nothing we can really do about it. The 2nd West Virginia Artillery should be able to deliver some fire. We are now in position. The 1st New Jersey Battery has an open field of fire on all of these soldiers. And on our left flank the enemy is pushing harder. The 2nd New Hampshire Infantry has the Springfield rifle musket, giving them a clear range advantage. And they're able to open up on the flank of the 7th Louisiana and of the 22nd Virginia. The 22nd Virginia already suffered 113 casualties, but they're still on the field. And over here another push of the enemy is starting. The 2nd Virginia is still in the fight, even though they are wavering. The 14th Georgia is coming up, a fresh regiment, and the 16th Georgia, another large regiment, is in combat. They need to get just a little bit further, then we can start to shoot them. Luckily we have the 1st Michigan and the 11th New York there to help us. The 11th New York has the Springfield musket, but they have the enemy almost in range. Gentlemen, move forward, but please move forward in such a way that we are not blocking the field of fire of our artillery. Without the artillery support, or if they're shooting in our rear, we are almost done for. Come on, man, get ready. I know you are outflanked by artillery fire in this moment. But once you have reached your positions, you should be safe. Now get forward and hit the 11th Georgia. 14th Georgia. My apologies. We have suffered 29 casualties. We have 316 soldiers remaining. And after this battle, this regiment has deserved a small vacation. Our allied forces are opening up on the flank. Hopefully this is going to drive them away, and if the 1st New Jersey Battery opens up on their flank, they should make minced meat out of their soldiers. We have now suffered 40 casualties. And over here we are getting more support. The 82nd New York Infantry is coming up. They have a large amount of soldiers. Very good fire, man, very good fire. We can see that their left flank is taking hits. We're down to 41 men. 14th Georgia has suffered 59 casualties. Come on, man, hold on. We have almost done it. We have almost done it. Just a few more volleys. We have inflicted a couple more casualties. I'm sensing we're getting outflanked by the 7th South Carolina. We cannot win this engagement anymore. We need to fall back a little. Commander, if possible, rally your soldiers. We need to get out of range of the 7th South Carolina. We are now up to 51 casualties. And the 14th Georgia is miraculously still holding. They're getting outflanked by multiple soldiers. They took 130 casualties and they're still on the field. Our morale is still stable. We took 56 casualties. We are somehow not defeated. We have 57 men remaining. And I hope that these artillery pieces are going to destroy our enemies. Over here the 16th Georgia is coming up together with the 15th Georgia. And on our left flank our soldiers got pushed back a little. But they're still on good defensive ground. We are still getting outflanked. Meaning that we have to fall back further onto the defense line. But please do not move in a way that you're getting completely annihilated. Your enemies over there would love if you shoot on them while you retreat. The enemy is now under high fatigue. And they're still getting flanked. Hopefully this is going to give us the edge that we need. Over here the 2nd Rhode Island Infantry also has the Springfield rifle musket and they're opening up on the enemy. Our unit is about to be broken and to be driven back. We now have 71 casualties. We are almost completely broken. This unit is going to be out of the fight very soon. We have fought valiantly, but there is not much that we can now do. Let's hope that we can still kill some of the rebels before we have to withdraw completely. On our right flank, the 13th Georgia is crossing the river. Gordon's detachment is over there, together with Jordan's regiment, I assume. We were able to inflict a couple more casualties and this unit is now falling back. Over on this section, the 3rd South Carolina is coming over. Commander, rally the men. Our morale has stabilized, but the next wave of the enemy is already coming up. And I guess we have to now focus on the 3rd South Carolina if you want to have any chance of surviving this day. More Confederate forces are pushing over here. And if High Command would have decided to hold all soldiers on this river line instead of attacking the enemy head-on, we might have had a chance of defeating them. We now have 19 o'clock, almost 19:30. Maybe we can make it to the next day. Maybe we'll receive more reinforcements. But it does not look like it right now. This seems to be another defeat for the Union, even though we have delivered a good amount of damage. Slowly we are learning from our mistakes and slowly we are hitting the enemy ever harder. We have 75 casualties, only 270 of our soldiers are still alive. The 3rd South Carolina with 500 soldiers heavily outnumbers us, but currently it looks like we are outflanking them. Only 23 rounds of ammunition are still left. The 15th Georgia with 700 men is now taking more casualties and they're also fatigued. We now took 75 casualties. And I'm going to speed up time. In general, our battered line is still somewhat holding, but the Confederates still have a large amount of reinforcements on the battlefield. 77 of our brave soldiers have died. 78. It is a miracle that our men are still on the battlefield. Our center has repelled another Confederate attack. Our right flank is crumbling. We are almost the only unit in combat. We have these 6 Massachusetts that could enter combat, but they are not doing that. The 82nd New York is fighting. And we have the 2nd US Cavalry on our flank, but they're also almost broken. Over here the 14th Massachusetts is holding back the enemy. Second Rhode Island is also here. They have the Springfield Rifle musket. We could take care of this regiment for 165 prestige. And I think this is going to be a wise decision. Let's send them over here so that we can support our defense. Maybe this will help us to plug the hole that the fallback of our soldiers will definitely tear. Come on, man, move forward. We have inflicted a couple more casualties. We now took 82 casualties. And more Confederate forces are coming over the river. We only have 2 regiments over here that are able to shoot at the enemy. Our artillery has pulled back, and there are more units in reserve that are not engaging the enemy. And with this, our unit routed. 2nd Rhode Island, get ready. You need to engage the enemy. And please engage them at long range. You have the range to do so. Very good. We are starting to open up. And some of the rebel units are starting to run out of ammunition. If the shelling is too hard, I need to pull back some of our soldiers. Just a few meters so that we can lure them in and only have to take on a couple of them. Yes, it looks like we have to pull back just a little bit to get out of the massive amount of enemy fire. Come on, Mac. Just a few steps. Just a few steps. We can still hold them back. We can still hold them back. We have some more reserves on our left side, but they're not engaging. Our morale is confident, but it is taking more and more hits. And there are some units on our rear that have not yet engaged in combat. Unfortunately, it is far too expensive. Oh well, this unit is only 83 prestige to pick. Yes, let's pick this unit and get them forward. And these units also need to fire on long range. We have some soldiers of the 1st Virginia rushing forward. Their flank is completely exposed. They should take massive casualties quickly. Over on our left side, the enemy is still on our side of the river, but they are taking casualties, and we have units over here. This fight is still looking like a minor defeat. But if we lose today, we will have given it everything we can take. Over here, some of the rebel units of the 13th Georgia are getting outflanked. Very good. And the 15th New York State Militia is going to move forward on the 3rd South Carolina. It is interesting how far the range difference is. 2nd Rhode Island is able to shell them from all the way back here, while the 25th New York has to get so close to the enemy. and the unit is already wavering. Commander, rally your men. I guess this is one of the first combat experience of this unit. And the men are pulling back. Over here another charge has begun. Let's hope we can hold back this attack as well, then the Confederates should slowly run out of manpower. 2nd Rhode Island Infantry is taking 84 casualties. Their morale is still confident, but their lost resilience is crumbling. Over here the 11th New York is falling back, and the 1st Michigan is also soon going to fall back. I wish that more of our soldiers would enter the battle. Yes, let's commandeer another unit. I am absolutely certain that High Command, that our fellow officers will hate us, but that does not matter right now. We want to win this battle. Where's our unit? 25th New York State Militia has completely broken. I do not know why. Over here we have another detachment engaging the enemy. We see that the 3rd South Carolina is wavering, and this unit is now shifting to open up on the 18th Georgia. Fifth North Carolina is coming up, and the 18th Georgia is also still on the field. Our soldiers are rushing forward, even though they have the enemy already in range. Alrighty, they're still fighting on medium range, even though I've ordered otherwise. Doesn't matter, this day for now is over. And I have no idea what happened over here. We ordered to defend a location, but right now I can't even see if I have still a unit under my command. And instead of maintaining our defensive line, we have decided to clutch up all of our units over here, and we are going to get absolutely massacred. It looks like we do not have a single unit left under our command, and even though we fought so valiantly in the first day and it was almost looking like we could hold the rebels back, we are now going to lose by a heavy margin. And due to this catastrophic decision on the 2nd day, this battle has turned out to be a major and not a minor defeat. In total we suffered over 5,800 casualties, while the Confederates suffered 4,000. This battle at Fairfax was an absolute disaster. The 1st Division is fleeing in a panic, and Colonel Scammon loses face. Lieutenant Colonel Eckholz also loses face, and the support for the Federal cause wavers. Our army is surprisingly still present on the battlefield, but we are withdrawing closer to Washington. Let's hope that we can soon rise through the ranks, to make sure that we have a better battlefield impact, and to make sure that we are not going to lose this war. And the Confederacy slows down their cotton production, meaning that the demand in Europe increases, and this leads to record high prices. The European powers demand a cessation of hostilities. Our poor 38th New York is down to 259 soldiers. To make sure that our regiment doesn't disintegrate, I'm going to send them home to be replenished. So far we weren't able to do a whole lot of progress. Our national morale and national support have suffered significantly, and the morale of our armies is on an all-time low. Still, we heavily outnumber our enemies, and currently it doesn't look like the European powers are going to get involved. Our lawmakers are currently working on the Militia Act 4, meaning that the soldiers would enlist for 36 months. And maybe very soon we can see that a couple new rifles are going to be available for all soldiers. But this is it for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and until we meet again, I wish you all a great time.